So there's this topic I want to talk about for a couple days now. I was reading online for a bit. I was reading the news, and then at the same time, I'm also waiting for a very specific game to come out on the Nintendo Switch. And if you folks know me at all, I am a pretty avid gamer. I play on the PC and pretty much every single console that exists. I play video games a lot, and one specific video game I'm waiting for this year to come out is Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Now, this game, when I first saw a trailer for it, I was really excited for it because this is a completely different take on the Mario games that we have seen from the past. Um, in terms of 2D art style, the whole art style of this new game just looks amazing, and I'm really looking forward to playing it. Um, so that trailer came out about a couple months ago, and I've been sitting here waiting for it to come out ever since. And it wasn't until a couple days ago that I read an article, or I guess it wasn't really an article, and I also found a YouTube video about someone talking about Super Mario Brothers Wonder, and it got me thinking a lot about what this guy had to say in the video. So, for those of you who don't know, I did do a Super Mario Brothers video about a couple years ago, and what I talked about in that video is basically how the Super Mario Brothers might be, or not would, but it might be canceled at some point. Because when I made that video, it was a time in America where a lot of things were being canceled for ridiculous reasons, and I speculated that Mario Brothers would soon be on their list. And so far, that it hasn't really happened yet, I say, but up until now, and I had to be careful with what I say here, but I do want to raise some speculation because I think that's something I try to do once in a while. I don't know why, it's just something in my nature. Um, but there's always little things that catch my eye. I'm a very detailed guy. I spot things that a lot of people don't notice when it comes to like scenes in movies or like lyrics in songs or for instance, another instance, stuff on social media, and that's what I want to talk about today. So, if you folks did not know, the voice actor for Mario and Luigi in the Mario Brothers games, Charles Martinet, he's been doing the voice for over 20 years, but he just now retired and he's become the ambassador for Nintendo, I believe. It's something like that. And so they had to get a new guy to replace Charles Martinet, and they found one. His name's Kevin Afghani, I believe is his name. And I didn't really think too much of it. And when I listened to the trailer for the Super Mario Brothers Wonder game, he sounded great. He sounds almost exactly like Charles Martinet, and I think that's what all of us Mario fans are looking for, and that's about it. But I was doing some research on this guy, and I'm one of those types of people who likes to look at voice actors like from video games. I'm a pretty big gamer, and I just sometimes I get curious on who voices certain characters from video games, and I want to dive a little bit into this guy and what his work is. And he hasn't really done much. I don't think too many people really heard of this guy, and I think he's now just gonna start rising to fame because he now voices Mario and Luigi in the Mario Brothers games. Um, I was looking up this guy, and I noticed something on his Twitter profile. I don't think it's called Twitter anymore. I think it's called X, I believe, but I think a lot of people still call it Twitter. Anyway, I was looking at his Twitter profile, and I found something that really stuck out to me. And I'm gonna put it on screen right here. And for those of you who have a keen eye, like I do, for certain things, you guys notice right away what I'm talking about. But for those of you who don't notice, in his description on his Twitter profile, he puts his pronouns he/him. Now, to some, that might not be a really big problem, but to someone like me, a conservative who dearly loves this country, you know, it raises a small red flag, in my opinion. Maybe not a small one, maybe a big one, because this could turn really ugly, folks. And I have to be careful with what I say because this is YouTube, but I'm gonna try and say it as like plain and simple as possible. But this is very important to talk about. Now, to the normal person, like I said, this wouldn't really raise a whole lot of alarm. I mean, the guy's just sharing his pronouns. But to someone like me, that kind of worries me a little bit. Because the only ones who really use pronouns in this society that we live in right now are far left crazy leftists or liberals, or the woke mob, as sometimes we call them. Those are the only people who feel the need to share their pronouns, and that's a really big problem, in my opinion. That Nintendo has hired a guy who feels the need to have to share his pronouns with people. Pronouns, if you don't realize, they're a pretty stupid thing that the left has created. What they basically say about pronouns and people who share their pronouns is that so you won't misgender somebody, and it's another way of identifying somebody rather than just by their name, which I think is an incredibly stupid thing, if you ask me. And I know a lot of conservatives and true patriot loving Americans think the same exact way as I do. So the reason I find this really shady and it raises a pretty big red flag is the fact that this guy probably is no doubt a liberal, a leftist, and he probably supports the woke mob. Simply, now you might be saying, what, just because he shares his pronouns? Yes, that is exactly why I think that. And I've worked with people who are far on the left, and on their social media pages, they also shared their pronouns unnecessarily. I do not know why. And I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They were nice people to work with, but what their beliefs, what their morals are, and what their standards were, it's not a pretty thing. I've never seen a conservative, with those beliefs who shares their pronouns like people on the left do, which is why I am very nervous for the future of Super Mario Brothers, because if they hired a guy like this to do the voice for Mario and Luigi, I mean, who knows what kind of influence he's going to spread across Nintendo now and the Mario games now. So that video I made a couple years ago, will Super Mario Brothers be canceled soon? Probably not. But is Mario Brothers about to go woke? I fear the worst for the Mario Brothers games now, and it's sad because we live in a society nowadays where the elites want to brainwash, our kids, and it's really hard to find something nowadays, whether it be movies, cartoons, video games. It's really hard to find something for kids to enjoy and for the parents to relax and take a deep breath of relaxation without having to worry about their kids being brainwashed. So I truly feel bad for the Mario Brothers games now, and this is all speculation, but I have my doubts, and I truly fear the worst for the Mario Brothers games now.